and St. George Welfare Office, which is in St. George. I will just show you guys the Polyclinic. This is the Glebe Polyclinic here. Which was later renamed President Polyclinic, named after former Member of Parliament for St. George, President Miller, who was a Member of Parliament for St. George from 1948 to 1966. The Polyclinic here, and the St. George Rectory right next door, and the church and so on down the street here. So this is all the Polyclinic here. So the priest lives here, the rector lives at this house here. This is the church rectory, the vicarage. So this is the Polyclinic here. St. George, this Polyclinic serves residents from St. George, both past and present. So even if you are not living in, even if you are from St. George, but you don't live in the parish anymore, you can still come here and get health care. St. George is my father's birth parish, the parish in which my father was born and raised. And for those of you who don't know who my father is, Satchmore, that sings, or that used to sing years ago with the Sand Pebbles, is my father. My father also used to write songs as well. He wrote a couple of songs for Wendy Allen, Cheryl Hackett, Carolyn Leacock, and many others. My father is from St. George. So, yes, St. George is the third largest parish in Barbados. St. George was carved out of the parish of St. Michael between 1640 and 1641. So St. Michael is the mother parish and St. George was carved out of it. St. George is the breadbasket parish. St. George is an agricultural parish. St. George is the parish that fed many Barbadians from the 1630s up until this present day. St. George is also the third largest parish in Barbados. St. George is a rural parish as well. St. George is in the countryside. St. George is in the countryside. John Hill signal station on top of here, on the hill. Signal station. John Hill signal station here, which gives awesome views of 6 out of the 11 parishes in Barbados. The Gun Hill signal station was established in 1818, built as a fortress to signal when the enemies coming in. It was later acquired by the Barbados National Trust when Tom Adams was the Prime Minister in November 1982. It is now a tourist attraction. Many people go there regularly to visit, to look at the view and so on. Gun Hill Signal Station is 700 feet above sea level. Gun Hill is actually the highest point in St. George. So you can see the rectory and the Polyclinic here next door. As I said before, St. George is the third largest parish. It was carved out of the parish of St. Michael between 1640 and 1641. St. Michael is another parish and St. George was carved out of it. St. George is an agricultural parish, a rural parish. I'm in the countryside at the moment, but this is one of the most developed parts of St. George. In that it's a busy thoroughfare, and it is more inhabited than the other side of St. George, which is St. George South, where they have the St. George Valley and so on. So, thank you guys for watching. This is all I have for this video. So, thanks for watching now. Have a blessed evening. And stay tuned for more videos of Barbados. Back up the hill again at the signal station. So up this hill here now. First of all, as you go around the corner, you'll be in Walkers, then Tate Hill, and then you will be into passing the line at Gun Hill, which is on top of the hill at Gun Hill, the land, and then you will be heading towards we'll be heading towards Barry and St. George. This is all the beautiful parish of St. George. Here. So thank you guys for watching. And do have a blessed and a wonderful evening. I'm going to soon go down the hill to the church and show you guys more of the Glebe area from there.